What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Halal Bat Boys. What's good? We have, of course, our regular Mahdi.
Salam
Salam, welcome back. And we have a guest. I've actually been on his channel, Coach Kareem. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, guys. Very glad to be with you. Thank you.
Good to have you here. Oh wait, no, I've been dropping the ball today. I tell you, it's been rough. It's been rough. I'm an old dog with new tricks. You know, it's really getting difficult with all this technical stuff. So I have an assistant to handle all this for me.
Alhamdulillah.
That's good.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, let me just kill the sound here. My own commercials. Share. Copy. So, Kareem.
Yeah.
Maybe some of our viewers don't know who you are.
Okay.
Guys from my channel, guys from Matthew's channel. So, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do, who you are, all this stuff. Let's hear it.
Yeah. First of all, I'm a life coach, intersexual dynamic life coach. I got a certificate from Oxford of life coaching. That's okay. And the consulting, I'm taking another one right now. Taking the course for consulting. Since around 5 years, you can call me an activist on social media. I was because of community standard in Facebook, I lost over than 125,000 followers, which like my page used to be like the first and the biggest Red Pill Arabic page. It's called Red Pill Arabic. Used to call Red Pill Arabic. I lost it because of the community standard, because it's not friendly, as they say, and like people is following me since like 3 or 4 years almost on multimedia, like multi-social media platforms. I got my channel, which is Red Pill Arabic, in Arabic, creating Arabic content about Red Pill in general. Since 1.5 years almost, yeah, and it's doing really good. I do consulting also. I'm almost like this close to announce my own website. It's under development right now. Like within like 1 or 2 weeks, it will be live. And that's pretty much all.
Just out of interest, Akhi Kareem, what got you banned? Because I don't want to. I've been banned so many times on different platforms, and YouTube's the hardest platform to build on. So, what are the pitfalls? What do we need to look out for, especially in this, very delicate space that we're in?
Do you mean on YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube.
YouTube, I never get banned on YouTube. I'm very, very careful because I got banned on other social media a lot of times, so I got experience, and right. I read the community standards like very specifically.
Okay.
So,
sure.
yeah. So before I initiate my channel on YouTube, I got a lot of courses, and people talk about the YouTube like red lines, like keep away of this and that. Like I used to do that, or I concentrate on that for like almost 3 to 4 weeks to understand how really YouTube works, and the search engine optimization, everything. That's obsession in my personality. If I want to do something, I have to understand 100% how it does work before I start. So there is like special words that artificial intelligence will catch it if you say it, and you probably know a lot of it, and do not let's say provoke certain type or group of people very badly, because there is a lot of groups for reporting. They will catch the link of your video, send it, reports until like they take it down. So that will be not like that will never be a great thing to take one video down, but if they do it multiple times, like it will be demonetized. Your channel will be demonetized. Yeah.
So let me ask you, in protecting yourself, do you are you linked? Are you synced with Odyssey library?
Sorry, what do you mean by Odyssey library?
Okay. What about you, Mahdi? I mean, just if you don't know, you don't know. I'll take some time to explain. Are you linked with Odyssey or library?
No.
All right, I'll get you guys set up on Twitter. I'll link you guys on Twitter because I can actually get like a referral bonus on it, some good money, $100 each. So I'm gonna link you guys up, and then what happens is this: there's a channel, and like I said, let me link you guys first. It's not a channel, excuse me. It is a blockchain operated social media site similar to YouTube. It's on the library chain, the LBC chain, and what happens is you can sync your channel to library. So every time like this video, once it goes live, once it's processed, it will automatically be uploaded to my library channel. And so it's forever there because library is blockchain and blockchain can't be blocked. It can't be deleted. It's there, so it is forever. You can make it invisible or whatnot. I mean, there are things like that, but once it's on the blockchain, it's on the blockchain. You can make it invisible to people and whatnot, but it's unblockable because you can't. There's no technology right now that can block blockchain websites and applications.
So does YouTube can't take it down
because it's a totally different platform. All you do is you're syncing your channel to this one. So when I synced, I had 700 videos, and they're all now on library. I didn't have to do anything but sync my channel, and then all the videos were automatically uploaded to library. So my entire channel is safe now. So even now, if YouTube pulls some of my videos, because they've done that in the past, those videos are still like there was a video that OG Logic, when I used to do OG Logic, they pulled one that we talked about this current scandemic. And they didn't like the content. It took them about 3 months to pull it down, but you can still find it over on library, but it's pulled down on YouTube. So and you get paid. You get paid in cryptocurrency for watching videos there and for uploading videos there. So there's also an incentive for people to actually go and use library because they'll be paid in cryptocurrency just for watching videos, as to oppose, and there's no commercials. So unlike YouTube that forces you to watch commercials, and then pays the content creator a pittance and doesn't pay the viewer who's forced to tortured to watch those stupid commercials. If you just watch the content you want to watch, you're paid for it. So it's best to go over there. Yeah, we're taking questions on Future Trunk.
Okay, you know what is my my way to you got me?
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Just 1 second. Shout out to Sheikh Shakil Akhtar, Barakallah Feek, homie for life. This has been a brother for a long time. 400 rupee super chat. Jazakallah khair.
Habibi. Kareem, I have a question for you, Akhi, because you mentioned that you're, this whole algorithm stuff and all the rest of it. If the algorithm is so sensitive, how do content creators like Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit get away with the type of content that they create, which is very provocative, that stirs, it really shakes the hornet's nest, and yet they're massive? How?
Yeah, they take under consideration the volume of viewing for each channel. So if 10 people report a very small channel with very small view, they will be more harsh on such a small channel. But like a huge channel like Kevin Samuel with millions of view, he's getting them money. So they will be a little bit soft and more little bit soft on him. Yeah, I want to say something about being immune. Guys, you have to be available in multi-social media platform because people will follow you in multi social media platform. So if you ban from here, they will catch you here, and they will know the link of the new channel that you are opening. For example, I have channel on Telegram. I have a club on Clubhouse. The Clubhouse, the voice chat rooms. And I have my own website. Within 1 or 2 weeks it will be alive. I have Discord channel, so I have a Patreon, but it is not activated yet. So be everywhere, because if one ban, people will know where to look for you.
Nice. And I will say, actually, before we get into the meat of this discussion, for those of you who are considering creating your own content, the most important thing for you to do when you're creating content is to own your damn email list. Whenever you sign up to a social media platform, what's the first thing they take from you? Email. Why? so that they have constant direct communication with you at all times. However, when someone subscribes to your channel or follows you on TikTok or follows you on Instagram or wherever it may be, right, they follow you, but Instagram or TikTok or Facebook own that audience. If they decide to block your account today, guess what? You've got no way of communicating with them. And one of the ways you can do this, of gathering your own email list, is creating a lead magnet. In every one of my videos, in the description, I offer you something of value for free, genuine value. But that bro, it's a mini booklet. That mini booklet that I give you, in return, I get your email address. Why? Because in the event that my accounts are shut down, I can immediately communicate with my audience and let you know where I'm popping up new again. Most important thing, email list. Email list is king.
I agree. Going back to the Kevin Samuels thing, though, you got to imagine Kevin Samuels himself is making anywhere between 1,000 to 5,000 per video. So you can imagine what YouTube's making off of that.
Wow.
No, it is more much. It is more much than that.
Yeah, probably.
I have
moderate.
analytics tools. I have analytics tools. I can analyze any channel that I have that I want. No, Kevin Samuel is making more than 5,000 per each video.
You kidding me?
So imagine the pennies they're paying the content creator, what YouTube's getting. It's going to take a lot for them to want to pull him down.
Well, actually, I saw the other day, Google take 45% of all ad revenue. So the content creator actually takes more than Google. Google takes 45%. The content creator takes 55%.
Really?
Yeah. I signed this contract with them. Yeah, he's right. We are taking more than them.
Interesting. I'll have to check that again. Anyway, library gives you 100%, but obviously you need more views to get more, because the more people that view your stuff also, the more you get paid. And you can tip them outside of like a live. Like now, someone like our brother Shaka gave me a tip. You can tip the person on library. I prefer library as a platform, but there's obviously not as many people there as there is on YouTube. And I have a question related to that, so I'm just going to go ahead and deal with it since we're on this topic, social media. How's Odyssey live streaming at the moment? As far as I know, it is live. It is active. It's past the beta stage and it is now active as live, but I've never tried it to be, you know what I mean? Until there's a way to use StreamYard to stream also live to Odyssey, I probably won't try it because the usage is climbing over on Odyssey, but it's not anywhere close to what we're seeing on YouTube. So, yeah, just to answer that question.
Okay, Karim, just before we went live, the question I asked you was, and I thought it'd make a great start point to this live, was a frequent criticism that I receive is, Mahdi, the stats that you quote, they don't apply to Muslims, or you have to bring a separate study, a separate proof to prove that the things that you are saying, for example, a woman who has a promiscuous past, the higher her body count, the less likely she is to be able to pair bond, so on and so on. And the frequent criticism I receive is, Mahdi, this doesn't apply to Muslims. And if you want to say it applies to Muslims, then you are going to have to bring separate studies done just on Muslims, and then maybe we'll have this discussion. What would be your response to this, considering that you live in the Muslim world, you are living amongst the Muslims, and you've been in the game for a long time. You've been in this space for a long time. So you have on the ground knowledge of what's going on amongst the Muslims in the Muslim world. Please educate us.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great question, and I have multiple people that asking me this. This study is on the Western world. That does not apply to our people. Okay, we have to draw a line here, and the line have to be so clear between if we are talking about the human nature or we are talking about the social construct effect. So if you're talking about the social construct effect, okay, you're right. Their culture is a little bit different than our culture. Yes, you're right. But if you're talking about human nature, such thing as hypergamy, it is programmed in female mind. And there's a cross-cultural study with the multi-thousands of people from all countries, and it's repeated again and again and again with the same results. So they say it's universal. Universal, that means it never mind what is your ideology, your race, your name, your culture, your citizenship, it applies. So human nature is one, but the social construct is different.
So,
What do
what
you
give me
think?
an example of a difference in the social construct? Then break that down, please.
Yeah, I'll give you a great example. Imagine someone who born and raised in Miami, Florida. So he've been seeing almost naked women since he was 5. The sensitivity for such person for visual sexual stimulation will be low,
Mm.
comparing to one who born and raised in Saudi Arabia. He never saw such things. That will be shocking for him if you take him out of Riyadh and put him in Miami. He will be, whoa, what is this? But like for the guy who's lived there and born and raised there, that will be like normal daily thing that he see every day.
Mm.
So the social construct here, the thing that he used to live in his daily routine for almost all of his life, it changed something in him. So while the guy in Saudi Arabia, he never tested such thing.
It's funny you say that because I lived in Saudi Arabia for a year, as I mentioned before, and one profound experience I will never forget. So I came back to the UK 3 times during my stay in Saudi to visit my family for a week. And the first time I returned to the UK was after spending 4 months in Saudi Arabia. And I will never forget. So I lived in Medina, not even Riyadh. Riyadh is a little bit more liberal than Medina. Not even, but a little bit. Medina is Medina. No need to explain.
Yeah.
I'll never forget because it was a 2-way flight. So I had to go to Egypt first. I landed in Egypt. I got off the plane. And all I did was just go into the airport. And I saw, the posters, perfume, ladies wearing perfume and so on. Those type normal posters that you would see anywhere else in most parts of the world. And it hit me like a brick wall, Karim. It was like, whoa. And I never knew how much of an impact or how starved I was of that until I went to a country where I actually saw that again. And that's coming from someone who was raised in this environment. But exactly as you said, you become immune to it. And literally 3 days later, after I returned to the UK, I was immune again, but I never forget that first moment. It was like someone got a wet fish and slapped me in the face with it.
That's why they mentioned the cultural shock. I don't know if you're familiar with this term, the cultural shock. I saw it a lot. I used to live in UAE, and I've been to Dubai like many times. I used to live near Dubai, so I saw people coming from almost all of the world when they entered Dubai, especially in the first period. There was like everything is very different. So this cultural shock happens because of the social construct and other stimulation that he never used to. For example, if you get someone from a village in Ukraine and put him in Sheikh Zayed Road, there is 4,000 tower in one street. He will be like, what is this? Yeah, that's cultural shock. That's like totally opposite, different, that he can't handle.
So with the current time that we're seeing with social media, the spread of social media and how it has no borders, very few limitations, are you seeing a cultural shift take place in the Middle East?
Oh yeah, a very big one, actually, especially after the internet, the technological revolution in the last 20 years, to be more specific. There is, because the media effect is like magic on people, especially on let's say normal people, the vast majority of crowd, the persuadable audience, we call them. The persuadable audience, that people is easily to change. They don't have solid fundamental base such as religion and like values. It's not solid for majority of people. Is not like that solid. So they are persuadable audience. So the media and the social media effect is changing them. So things is acceptable now that we never imagined that will be accepted right now.
Can you give an example, please?
Yeah. I remember, I remember in my country there was a crime. There was a crime around 15 to 20 years ago between father and his daughter because she wore jeans and got out.
And what happened?
So he hit her near to death, close to death. Okay, that's not acceptable. That's a crime. Okay, but you're getting where I'm coming from. That was like not acceptable at all in the society. So you can walk nowadays in Amman and you can saw like thousands of girls wearing tight jeans and yoga pants, and that's very okay. So yeah, there is changes. We cannot deny that.
And how has this affected the marriage marketplace in terms of, specifically in the Arab world, in terms of the sisters who are looking to get married? Has it skewed their expectation of what the regular man should be like, what he should look like, what he should own, his money and wealth and so on, similar to what we experience here in the West? Or are they immune from that? Have they dodged that bullet? Like, what's the situation there?
Yeah, the effect is little bit lower because the wave that like the major wave did not hit us yet, because we are in the beginning of that wave. So we are on the way toward the open hypergamy, the deregulated sexual marketplace, but we are in the very beginning of it. As if you saw Richard Cooper in my channel, we was talking about that. He said like you need around 10 to 20 years to reach what we are doing, like what we have right now. So we are in the beginning. Regarding the marriage place, we called, do you know that term is unusa, which is the female lost her value like towards men, like after 30, 32, like
Right.
the people want to marry her will decrease.
Right.
That's natural. The percentage of this on Arabic Muslim countries is getting like skyrocketing. Like
Really?
in Lebanon is 85%.
What?
85% of girls over 30 is not married, never been married.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's the principal reason for that?
85%. Sorry, I gotta process that. 85%.
That's
Yes.
mental.
In Lebanon. In Tunis is 82%. In Emirates is 82%.
What? So what are
Yeah.
they doing? If they're not getting married, what are they doing?
They're trying to be strong, independent, career. I don't need a man. Like a lot of this, the rest of bullshit. Yeah. Yeah.
We got a good question here that's kind of like along the lines of this entire topic and thread right now by AI, I guess it is, or Al.
Really good question.
How does this desensitization from living in the West affect intimacy from living in the West? Not maybe living in the West, but affect intimacy in marriage. What I want to do is, instead of living in the West, we know how that's functioning here. What I want to ask is, how does it function there? Because we understand that the more open the sexuality is, the more expectations there are. Like in body types, men tend to have like now a universal body type expectation and ideas, because what is socially accepted as the female attractive and female standard. Like, just to give examples, back when I was young, having a large trunk, having a lot of cake, as they would say in this day, was considered to be a negative thing. Now they're out here talking about flatties and women with flat, rears and everything, and everybody wants a big butt now. So we understand that these standards change and men's, preferences change with that time. Has there been an effect on like the men out there with the opening up of like, the West and social media and seeing what's online? And has that affected marriage and intimacy there? Has it had a negative impact on marriages out there like it has here? Do you know? Was the question clear?
Yeah, it is. Look, I believe it is changing, especially the desensitization. it is changing the reaction and the behavior of men, especially the case that I said about. But it is not changing the nature inside. So if you took the son of this guy and put it in another part of the world, so he will be normal, because this is not normal. Like for a guy to see a woman in bikini and not getting aroused, that's not normal. Of course, this is not normal. You should be let's say, feeling aroused, because that's our nature. That's our human being nature. So, because and that's open like another gap in the discussion between West and East. Because like a lot of Western guys will tell me, really, like is a tight pant like making you feel aroused? And when Arabic guys say yes, he's shocked. Whoa. He think that you are the defect and he's the standard, while it's flipped. No, you are the defect and I am the standard, because we are designed, we are wired to get aroused by visual sexual stimulation, and that's part of it.
And to take this to its extreme, because as I said, I will never forget that experience I had coming to the airport after spending just 4 months in Saudi Arabia. All I saw was black. I never saw even a hand, never mind a face or legs, right? To take it to its extreme, I will answer the brother. Can it desensitize you or affect your intimacy in marriage? I will say this. Firstly and foremostly, there are certain things that you can't prevent yourself from seeing. You go outside, you see a billboard, you see a half-naked woman in the West, right? You turn away, fine, but you still saw it. In Saudi Arabia, you don't even get that. When I was there in 2013, even the models in the mall, they had female models, a picture of a female model, pixelated. It was all pixelated. I was like, what's the point in even putting the picture up? You can't even see anything, right? So to a degree, you will be desensitized to a degree. However, you can mitigate that by, subhanAllah, just simply doing as Allah instructed us in the Quran. قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُم. Tell the believing man to lower their gaze and protect their private parts. When you lower your gaze and you are not in the habit of seeing women who are haram for you, naturally, when you come home to your woman, she looks that much more beautiful. Even if she is a bit overweight, she just had a baby, whatever the case may be. But when you are constantly looking, now you're in trouble. And to take that to its extreme, those who suffer from porn addictions and the like, they suffer from erectile dysfunction. He comes home to his wife, it's like he's looking at a brick wall. Why? Because the level by which he becomes aroused has gotten to such a crazy high level, he is no longer able to be aroused by seeing the normal thing. Exactly as you, Coach Kareem said just now, that this Western guy is looking, thinking there's something wrong with you, when the problem is with him. Now, you are the one who's become desensitized. So in a nutshell, if you live in the West, you have to be careful, because you're exposed to too much.
You know, Brother Mahdi, it is technically, because I'm obsessed with biology and psychology, technically it works with the same technique of drug effect on your receptors. So when you've been aroused, seeing like sexual visual stimulation, your brain releases dopamine, oxytocin, and such stuff, which make you feel like happy. Okay, so if you are consistently like watching or seeing such things, these hormones will be released more and more, like on a higher level. So the receptors of these hormones will be desensitized. So you need more level. You need like a higher level and a higher level. That's why people get overdosed. Because like you're taking a half of gram, for example, of such powder, then it's not working anymore. You need a gram. It's not working anymore. You need 1.5 gram, 2 gram. Then you will get overdose. So it's working with the same by the same technique inside our body.
Sound regulation, receptor transcription is what it's called.
Yeah, exactly. So
transcription.
Yeah, so the desensitization of such receptors will, as you said, when you came back to your home, to your wife, she's not a like porn star. She's a regular woman, but your brain is stimulated to the degree that your standard to be stimulated is very, very high. That's why you have erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction.
And although let me just say this for guys out there who are interested in polygyny, let me just say that you do suffer, not suffer, I wouldn't call it suffer, but you do experience downregulation receptor transcription when you have multiple wives. Once you have multiple wives in your life, I don't know about you, Mahdi, but for me, it's very difficult to just live with one woman. It's very difficult for me. You know, it's close to not having a wife at all. And that's not to say that she's not sufficient, she's not good enough or anything. It's just your biological standards have like gone a different place, you know what I mean? And so it really changes the way, you know, you view everything.
That's a really great point you make. And I was just in case you didn't know, Coach Karim, I was in polygyny for 4 or 5 years. I had 3 wives at one point, and it all fell apart. The wheels fell off. I have one wife, alhamdulillah, now. But to answer your question, AbuAmerican, for sure, 100%. Once you taste that honey, it's very difficult to come back again. A mind expanded to new proportions can't shrink to its original dimensions, right? However, in my case, I made so many blunders and mistakes that when I do go back into polygyny again, which inshallah ta'ala is on the horizon, just not yet, I want to be in a position whereby I know I will not make those same mistakes again, and they were many. So the blunders that I made right now kind of stunt my desire to go back to that place again, because I'm considerably younger than you, right? I need to still focus on doing what a young man should be doing, building right now. I've just turned 32 today, actually. So once I get to a certain point because I understand and I respect the fact that I'm still immature as a man, I have not reached maturity yet. The age of maturity for a man is around the age of 40. I have to respect that and put in the work so that when I get to around that age bracket, then I can reap the rewards of my labor beforehand.
Gotcha. MashaAllah. You want to keep carrying on the subject line? We got some questions here. Or you guys want to take some questions? You want to keep talking, keep going forward?
You threw a couple of questions up, Akhi. What were they?
Yeah.
Some of them were answered already, but this guy, he keeps asking it. Leonardo da Vinci. I told him we'd answer the question. Let's go ahead and do it. We're 32 minutes in. Might as well just go ahead and start taking questions in between topics. How to stop thinking about women when you can't marry, can't work out since I'm injured.
Leonardo da Vinci, I see you, brother, on my channel as well. First thing and foremostly, why can't you marry? What's stopping you? That's the first question I would ask you. The second question I would say to you is, why can't you work out? I had a knee operation I had 3 knee operations one summer, keyhole surgeries. The very next day after my knee operation, in my crutches, I didn't have a car, I didn't have a license. I would walk, 20-minute walk in my crutches to the gym and do my upper body workout in my crutches with a massive cast on my leg. So when you say you can't, really? Are you bedridden? Like, are you stuck to the bed and you can't move? If that's the case, then fine. But when you say I can't, often that's just a limitation you have placed upon yourself. You said also I can't get married. Why can't you? We need more detail. I'm reluctant to answer that.
Regarding the first part of the question, guys, you have to have that choices mindset. Why you're thinking about a woman you can't get? Is it the end of the world? Come on. As Rich Cooper say, every single day there's thousands of girls turn 18. So you have just one woman and you can't get it, so you will keep thinking about it. Why? You have thousands or millions of options. Why you just stuck on one woman that you can't get? That's not productive. That's destructive for you as a man.
I can only chime in the same way they have, but I'll add a little bit to this. It sounds to me like you haven't found your mission as a man. You know, when you have your mission and you have your focus, you know, nothing else really matters to you. I was writing just a book for sport about trolls, and that obsessed me. I mean, Mahdi here, mashallah, he's in my men's community. Actually, Kareem, you're invited too. He's in my men's community, and he knows that even there, I disappeared for quite some time. I haven't been active, you know. I mean, he's busy also. He's not overly active there. He's active there sometimes. But I when I get obsessed with my mission, there's nothing else. Even my wife is like, why have you stopped looking for women? My wife is actually giving women her phone number. She did it today. She's like, he needs another woman. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I do. But right now, let me get back to work. So it sounds to me like you don't have your mission. It sounds to me like you're unfocused, and that's why it's become an obsession to you. But when you're focused and when you have things to do, there was the place that we went to was full of attractive women, and then my was like, wow, she's nice, wow, she's beautiful. I'm like, wait, I ain't trying to look at all this, man. What's going on here? I'm like, like this, so when you're obsessed on your mission, when you're obsessed with what you're doing and you're going to get results with it, even if you don't, you're just so self-confident in what you're doing and where you're going and what you're doing, they kind of disappear. And then you appear on their radar. Now the roles reverse, And so these women seem interested because I was like in the store doing my thing. I'm like, no, I'm here for this. I'm thinking, what do I need to do when I leave this? My wife is the one taking over the lead. You see, the other women, they're like sending the signals that my wife catches and I don't. So you're in that position where it's like you're sitting here like, and you're not narrow focused. When you get that narrow focus, women notice that because you're not paying attention to them. And the more you don't pay attention to them, the more valuable your attention becomes and the more they want it. Then they start throwing themselves at you. So find your mission. Find your mission, and the woman will find you.
And I appreciate as well, Leonardo da Vinci, I appreciate that it's easy for us as married men. Coach Kareem, I'm assuming you're married?
No, not yet.
Not married. Okay. So it's easy for the likes of myself and AbuAmerican to say, find your mission when you have a wife. I appreciate that. When you have a halal outlet, privilege is invisible to those who have it. To quote Myron, even though he's under some fire right now.
True also.
Privilege is invisible. I appreciate that. However, it doesn't take away from the truth. Okay, I have acknowledged this. Still, everything AbuAmerican just said is the truth. When you obsessively focus on one thing, productive thing that is, right, that you're trying to achieve, trying to build, it does take away much of your attention away from your woes and your worries. You just need to find them. You might not find it straight away, but start looking. Start looking.
This is a question for our guest. Kareem, question: how would you describe the current state of masculinity in the Arab world? Egypt is a country where the highest rates of wives, with the highest rates of wives,
this, right?
He just said that. Yeah, he said before we went on air.
Like you can't generalize what's happening in Egypt to the other part of like to the rest of Arab world countries. That's right. Well, like the accuracy of this study is debatable, but you can say that. How do I rate the current status of masculinity? It's better than West, but it is not as good as we need. Let's say it's dropping, but it's better than West anyway.
Because in the Arab world, the two last bastions of masculinity that is commonly known is black men and Arab men, typically speaking, right? Black men, Arab men. So obviously you live in the Arab world. Men here in the West in general we've been castrated to such a large degree. But see, the thing is now we live in a global village and we are all consuming the same Netflix programs, the same Amazon Prime, Netflix as well. A'udhu billah. Daily offender in this the emasculation, if that's the correct word, of men. Has this affected men and their masculinity in the Arab world, considering they have access to the same apps? They can watch Netflix as well, or is it different?
Yeah, I'll say it does affect, but like which demographic layer it does affect. It affected like the liberal layer of the society.
Okay.
So the rest of the society is conservative and they have strong values.
Right.
So it started with the community or with the society, but like the effect is very clear on the liberal like sliver of the society, which is in Arab world according 5 to 10%. So the effect there is very clear, and that's concentrated on the let's say Beverly Hills like places or spots in each capital. So even if you came to Amman here, it is the capital of Jordan, you will never see such things in all Amman. You'll see in like the very high like liberal and expensive places. in a man. That's like the sliver, like, or the layer, the tiny layer of liberal people and on the society. You got me?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just want to cover something here. Amar Labar says, Abu American, you're one of a kind. I don't think there are men like you. This is not correct, but Jazakallah khair. And I don't think there are supportive wives like yours, if I'm honest. That's also not correct. And my wife, she says, he becomes very extraordinary man when he has a few women on his plate, mashallah. I'm not gonna lie. It's not predicated. It actually kind of predicated because of the responsibility, guys. One thing that I like about having multiple wives also is it brings out the best in me as a man. It makes me hyper vigilant on all things, on my fitness, on not making mistakes, on being the best version of myself that I can be at all times. And it's not just for them. It's just I have to be, because now the room for error is smaller and I can't live without a challenge. If you take away my challenges, I'll probably watch TikTok for 3 hours. I don't know what I'd do. If you took the challenges out of my life, I'd just be like, there's no struggle. What do? I wouldn't know what to do. And so when you add that pressure there, to me, it brings out the best in me. And so she's always like, I love it, but I also hate it that the best of you comes out when you have multiple women around. It has to be. I have to be the most vigilant because I have to protect multiple women. I have to protect multiple children. I have to think about like, if I make this financial decision and I buy this crypto miner for like $8,000, what's going to happen next month if something goes wrong? I have to like be extra vigilant mentally, physically, and always emotionally. I have to think about what works for them, what doesn't, what do I do in front of this one? What's going to excite her? What's going to anger her? Because sometimes what you do with one wife in front of another one, and we're not talking anything haram here, guys. Stay with me. Be calm. It has an either positive or a negative effect on the other wife. And so you have to think about that also. So like, if I walk by and I do something crazy with her, how's it going to affect her? And so I'm also thinking about the positive and negatives like that so that I can work that to my advantage. And people might think that's bad, but if you it makes me think about positive manipulation of women and their behaviors and all this type of stuff. So I don't think I'm spectacular in this. I just cracked the code in this particular regard. And I learned this from other men. I'm not reinventing the wheel, guys. So it's not like I'm special or I'm spectacular. You can learn it too. You just got to pay attention.
That's why a successful CEO is very rare, who's managing multiple companies at the same time. It is very rare to find such guy. And it's very tiny percentage of businessmen in general.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned the word, AbuAmerican, use the word struggle. Mm-hmm. Struggle, you see, a lot of us we're searching for happiness. I just want to be happy. No, if you lived in a state of pure tranquility and ease and you're just sitting there eating grapes all day long, you'd be miserable. What gives life meaning is the struggle of, not the attainment of the goal. I was watching a documentary of Michael Phelps a few years ago, and he said to me, Michael Phelps basically became the greatest swimmer ever by the age of 23. He did what no Olympian before him had done. He won 8 Olympic golds at a single Olympics after having already won 6 Olympic golds at Athens 4 years beforehand. He said the amount of swimmers who won Olympic gold, that Olympics, who had reached the top of the mountain and then a few months afterward wanted to commit suicide. That's the level.
That's interesting.
He said, why? He said, because we realized that it wasn't this utopian dream that we thought it would be. We thought we were going to, enter paradise or something. And then we just went back to our regular everyday lives. And that high, it disappeared. But now we had no new purpose, you see. And what he said, I realized what kept me on track all of that time and what kept my fellow Olympians on track all that time was the struggle. Was the getting up every day at 4 a.m., jumping into a freezing cold pool, swimming for 3 hours, repeat in the evening. That struggle, as much as you might resent it and dislike it, it's what gives your life meaning and purpose, gives you something to look forward to, not the attainment of the goal itself. So set yourself a lofty ambition and a lofty goal, but if you achieve it, quickly reset. Otherwise, you're going to fall into some type of depressive pattern.
Yeah. On this point, Dr. Jordan Peterson used to say, men enjoy pursuing their goal more than achieving it.
Wow.
And that's very deep understanding of human psychology. The man, while he's climbing, he's enjoying the struggle. He's really enjoying it. like literally your brain is releasing dopamine, you're feeling happy pursuing the goal. But when you reach the top of the mountain, okay, you will feel the rage, like you will feel the peak of that happiness for like few minutes, and then it will go down. Then what? That's very deep. That's very deep. uh, I got another one. I forgot it.
Cool.
Yeah. Regarding, do you know why men, when like men die from broken heart syndrome more than women?
Okay. No, I don't know why.
Because this type of men, their ultimate goal was achieving that woman, and they lost it.
Wow.
So men usually die from broken heart syndrome more than women.
Wow.
Wow. Interesting.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Honor asked, I'm 23, never been unfit, never been to the gym. What steps should I take to get fit? Body weight exercise first or hit the gym straight away?
I'll take that
Matthew, I'll
one.
let you lead that since you got records and whatnot, bro.
I mean, my best advice to you, Achi, is to think small. You see, the problem is when people want to make changes in their life, they want to make these fabulous, dramatic, big changes that are completely unsustainable in the long run. It's like me turning around and saying, okay, I want to break Usain Bolt's 100-meter sprint world record. Okay, it's not going to happen. But let's just say, Mathalan, for example, I'm totally unfit. I've never worked out, but I want to break his world record. And now I jump into Usain Bolt's training regime. It's going to kill me. I've never even gone for a 6-mile jog. Never mind trying to do Usain Bolt's plyometric workouts and all the rest of it. I need to start off here as an amateur. Okay, you have a lofty ambition. Let's say you want to bench press 100 kilos and you want to be 10% body fat, but you can't handle the workload of someone who's already able to do that. So you need to think small, not think big. Have your goal there, the destination, but think small. What can I do today that's a little bit better than what I done yesterday? Think small. I'll give you an example. Let's say you've never worked out before, whatever. Okay, you want to start off. Can you do a full press up? If you can, great. Now you want to do 10 press ups in the morning, 10 press ups in the evening. Add to that 10 sit ups in the morning, 10 sit ups in the evening. Just 10. That's it. Do that for a week. Once you do that consistently for a week, next week, double the workload. And on and on and on. And by the way, and perhaps this is the most important thing, when you are first starting a routine, there can be no days off. This is super important. If you read books on habits such as Atomic Habits or The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy or 5 a.m. Club by, I forget his name now. There's different research that they argue as to how long it takes to establish a habit. But generally speaking, it takes at least 2 months, 60 days to establish a habit. So when you're first in this example here working out, no days off. Those 10 press-ups that you're doing daily, every single day. No Saturday off, no Sunday off, until it becomes like clockwork.
There you go. I got nothing to add to that. Alhamdulillah, I got my parents picked each other well. I got good genetics. I just got to go look at a dumbbell and I start to grow. I start to get big. So, alhamdulillah. Yeah. So I don't know. There's questions here, but I'm not really sure. I want to take some of these here. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep pushing until some better questions come in.
I wanted to ask Coach Kareem actually a question. So you mentioned, Coach Kareem, the divorce rates in the Arab world. Can you repeat that whilst we were backstage? You were talking about them.
Yeah, the highest divorce rate on the planet is on Egypt. It's a Muslim Arabic country.
And who's filing for divorce predominantly? Is it the men or the women?
Of course, women.
And this is like statistically proven.
Yeah, I'll let you like I'll shock you guys. The family court laws in Egypt is better for women than Sweden.
What? The most egalitarian country in the world.
Yes.
Sweden.
Yes. Imagine. I'll give you example. The woman in Egypt can take your home if she have even one child or if she was even just pregnant.
She
So
can take-
we got case that a girl was married for 28 days. 28 days. While she confirmed that she's pregnant, she filed for divorce and she took the man's house. It was owned by him. Like he worked for 20 to 25 years to buy this house. She took it for okay. There's a difference. If the child was a girl, she can keep the house until this girl get married. Okay, if if the child was a boy, she can keep the home until he gets 15.
Hmm.
So during the whole let's say is she's taking care of the kids. For male is 15 year, for female is until she get married. She can keep the home, the whole home, not half of it, the whole home. She can keep it.
And just out of interest, is this? I don't know how the marriage thing works in the Arab world. So do they have like a state marriage, or and then is there a differentiation, I should say, between marrying through the state and just performing nikah as we have in the UK? So if you perform a nikah in the UK, that doesn't
Do you mean
necessarily.
civil contract?
Yes, civil contract. Yeah, is
No,
nikah civil contract in the Arab world?
no, civil contract. The civil marriage contract is not available except in Tunisia.
Oh, so then it's just nikah that will basically you'll end your.
Yeah, yeah. It is a Sharia contract and all of the rest of the Arab countries, but it is not like it is not really Sharia like following the Sharia law, because we have that concept that we initiated here, the term, which is the Sharia supermarket. Have you ever heard that? The Sharia supermarket, where, like it is when the politicians want to show that we are liberals and we are with the woman and we are they do like the all madhahib, they put the all madhahib in the table, and they will get that fatwa is in women interest, and that fatwa from the second madhab, and that fatwa from the third one, that fatwa from the third one, and they will combine it together and give you the law.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Coach Karim, because when brothers ask me about marriage in the UK and how they can avoid being taken to the slaughterhouse, like rich people would say, and having all of their stuff taken away from them, I simply say to them, just don't get a civil marriage. Do a nikah. It doesn't hold any legal weight. But it appears in the Arab world that the nikah does hold legal weight.
But there is a cohabitation law in UK, right?
That's true. That's true. Eventually, that's true. I don't know if it's in the UK, by the way. I know it's in the US. It might. I'm not too clued up on the law. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know about cohabitation laws in the UK. Canada, 100%. But regardless, if nikah has the same consequences as a civil contract here in the West, it has the same consequences in the Muslim world, then what advice would you give to men who want to protect themselves? They want to get married, but they want to protect themselves. How?
Well, the first and the best one, change the country if you can.
Really?
If you have passive income, like especially if you're working online, that you can change the country and keep working and keep getting money.
People don't have that luxury. Then what?
Yes. If they can, the best one is you can change the country. You can go to Eastern European country. You can come to Arab world. Like you can live in UAE. You can live in Qatar. You can live in any country you want. That will be better. If you don't have that luxurious level or option, I prefer that you choose a conservative woman from your environment. It's better than to get a woman out of non-liberal countries such as Arab world.
Tell me what you mean by that. What does that mean?
Okay. If you got two options, there is a conservative woman and she's being forced to be conservative by the society. To get her out of this society and to put her in totally free liberal society, there's you can't predict what she's gonna do.
Right.
You got me?
I got
But
you.
if you got a conservative girl from a liberal society, she had all the option and she chose to be conservative. That's a better one.
Okay, I understand. This is good advice. Barakallahu fik.
Yeah.
Ahmed Al Mahdi said, "Is the nikah performed in the masjid in the UK? I don't want to get married legally living in the UK." I can actually speak on this one, even though I'm not from the UK. I got married to Becky in a masjid in the UK. I literally just showed up and they were like, "Yeah, let's do it." So, well, it was kind of like just let's do it. I showed up on Thursday. I asked him if we can get married today. He said, "Come back on Juma. We'll have enough people here to where we'll have like multiple witnesses and and everything like this." Because at the time, I think I showed up for the Asr Salah and there weren't enough people there, or they would have done it on the spot. So you can just go to a masjid and get married. I think if I had maybe picked a woman from their community, because Becky, we were both like not from their community. It was a specific ethnicity. We won't cover who or what. They were just like, "Yeah, come on, show up, whatever else like this." And so, they assigned her a wali, since she's a revert like this and everything. We got married in the masjid in like a day. So you can definitely get married in the masjid in the UK. This is definitely not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even, it doesn't have to be in a masjid, guys, right? I married my third wife in a house, in my brother-in-law's house, and my father performed the ceremony. It was like that. It doesn't have to be in the masjid. You just have to go through.
True. Yeah, my second marriage to the Arab girl in London was actually done at a house also. So yeah.
Yeah, coming back to that point, I don't know, Mahdi, if you heard about thousands of cases which for the Syrian refugees and a lot of our brothers in European countries, they was working like very hard to get their woman there, like to get their woman from Syria to Sweden, for example, or Germany. So while their woman got there, and she took we call it nushuz course. Have you ever heard that of American nushuz course?
No.
Mar'a nashes,
Yeah, no, I understand.
She's rebellious against her husband. So there's no shoes course that they will give for new refugees, that you have that freedom, you can do this, you can do that. By one call, we will do this and we will do that. And they will give her that new shoes course in the beginning while she arrived there. So like she can divorce you, and if you ask her for a cup of tea, no, I'm not doing that. What, you have broken hands? And if he just raise his voice, she will call them. It will destroy their marriage. So because she's not familiar with that type of freedom. So but the conservative girl in that society, she have all that option, but she chose never to use this one because she's convinced that this is dhulm, this is haram. No.
This sounds like that brother that asked me, should I save up for divorce? He ain't even married. He's like, should I save for divorce? Allahu Akbar. What do you think about getting married and still have secured finances? I'm in my mid-20s.
AbuAmerican.
Don't do it. You guys are like, you're putting a horse in front of the carriage. If you like one of them young crypto traders that's like making millions, man, go knock yourself out, bro. Knock yourself out, bag 4 right off the rip. But if you don't have your stuff together, it's going to be difficult for you later. We actually have a brother in my men's community. He just recently joined. He was in this position. He was a young man. He wasn't doing well. He was studying and everything and working and building himself. And he accepted a marriage that wasn't according to the standards that he really wanted, but he wanted to get married. Now he's an older man and he is financially slaying it. MashaAllah. Allahumma barak feek. May Allah continue to increase him. And it looks like Allah will continue to increase him in a big way, not just a small way, guys. When we talk about, think about your favorite pay and then increase it multiple times. So he's in my men's community. Now he's in a position where he doesn't have to negotiate with a woman, and it's causing problems in his current relationship. So what you're going to do is you're going to put yourself in a similar position. You're with a woman in a position of weakness.
Yes, this is true.
That's not how you want to start the relationship, because later on, when you want to flip the script, you know what? It's not going to work. This is why I always tell guys, if you want polygyny, this is something that needs to be agreed upon early on before you get married, or right at the beginning of the marriage. Because when you try and change the rules later, women ain't trying to hear that stuff. This is the standard now. Women like to go from a standard. This is where it's at. I understand where everything's operating from. Now you want to try and come flip the script. So you want to go from being broke to being the man. It's going to go very difficult for you, unless you have like just a spectacularly amazing woman, and those are very rare. And the chances that you're going to run into one of those as a broke guy.
I'd love to give you like this analogy, like you as a young man, imagine the life is 100 steps there, and you are in the beginning of this stair, trying to reach up the top. By marrying while you are in the beginning, it's like me giving you like 100-kilogram bag on your back, and they say, okay, carry on. Imagine how's that gonna be like so difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this first and foremostly to the brother who asked this question: if you fear you're going to commit haram, then marriage is wajib upon you, right? If you're going to go to a whorehouse, or you're addicted to I don't know if I can say the P word. I forget that YouTube censors all these words. Regardless, if that's your situation, then marriage is wajib upon you. You have to. You don't have a choice. But exactly as brother Kareem, Coach Kareem said just now, if you do get married and you're young and you're not yet established, it is going to slow you down. There's no doubt about this. It is what it is. I got married at 16. I had 3 kids by 19, 5 kids by 23. You telling me that didn't slow me down? Of course it slowed me down. Why? Because I've got other people to take care of at such a young age, right?
Yep.
So it is what it is. But if you fear you are going to commit haram, then tawakkul ala Allah. Otherwise, I'm with Coach Kareem and AbuAmerican on this. If you can wait, because then you will have options and leverage.
Yeah, I agree. If you think you're following haram, go ahead and do it. There's a question here I really wanted to cover, just because I know about this and I've had experience with this. Question. We don't have much time left, guys. We have to get out of here in a minute. Question. Arabs and Somalis like to wait to consummate the marriage until the night of the wedding party. In many cases, the party takes place long after the nikah. How to deal with such cases? Okay, I had this situation more than once. And the first time I did it, I didn't even understand what was going on. So we did the nikah, and the family's like, okay, you guys can hang out, whatever else. And, I was like, okay, fine. Me and my new wife, we're going to go to the movies. And instead we just went back to my place. And she was like, wait, hold up. What's going on here? She's like, this is not how things work. I was like, wait a minute, are we married or not? And she's like, yeah, we're married. AbuAmerican struck. Okay. And then, but you got to also think about the consequences here. If you're just not something, the woman's permissible to you, the woman's permissible to you. Khalas, this is unarguable. I don't care what a person's culture is. Is she halal to you? Did they marry you with the nikah? Yes, they did. She is universally halal to you. How? Kaif? How? Please explain to me. You're married to a woman and a guy's going to say, hey, you know what? You can't sleep with your wife. Help me here.
Okay. I can explain that to you, because we have that in Jordan.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm not accepting that someone's going to tell me I can't sleep with my wife. Is she my wife? Yes.
You can't sleep with her? Yeah.
Hadoken karate chop.
Yeah. We have that uruf, we call it, which is tradition in Jordan. Like there was some guy talking about the divorce rate in Arab countries, and he was picking one statistics that Jordan is the highest divorce, while this is not accurate, because the difference between khutuba and zawaj. Khutuba is the initiating, and zawaj is like she's fully your wife. So khutuba in Jordan, it's happened with the full nikah contract. So from a Sharia point of view, she's fully your wife. Okay, but usually they do that in the beginning, and like after, for example, 3 months, they will do the celebration, and after the celebration, you can take her to your home. and that's how the whole society functioning. Everyone. So you will do the Sharia contract, the nikah contract, like totally legal, even registered in the Sharia court. So she's like legally, she's your wife, front of Sharia, from Sharia point of view, she's your wife. But like after the celebration, after the party, you can take her to your home, and all the society understand that, and that's very normal. So the distinguish was between fasakh khutuba, which is before dukhla, like night, and after the dukhla night. So when you go to the court and check the numbers, it will include fasakh khutuba. It will include the fasakh khutuba. How I'm gonna say it in English?
The khutuba, meaning the initiation.
Fiance, the engagement.
Yes, the engagement. Yeah,
engagement. That's the word.
Yeah, the engagement separation, and after dukhla, after like the celebration, separation. So if you mix that both numbers together, it will be a high rate. So that's how we function here, AbuAmerican.
I can speak for this because I experienced this problem in my extended family, and this is what happens when I've mentioned in the past of being cautious and careful of marrying into a culture that you are not familiar with, because this issue of urf is important. And if you are bringing one type of culture to another type of culture and there's a big clash, although this is not a matter of halal and haram, you are still going to have problems. And I experienced this. I went through this firsthand with my extended family. The nikah was performed, everything was above board, khalas, like we're good to go, right? But the father of the bride said categorically, his words actually were, if you touch my daughter before the walima in 4 months' time, I will kill you. Those were his words, right? So that's how serious this clash of cultures can become. And it is culture, it's not from the deen, but it's something to consider as a man looking to get married, that you need to understand, what am I signing myself up for here with reference to their cultures? Because you can tell them till you're blue in the face, it's halal and so on and so forth, and I don't agree with it. I get the culture, I don't agree with it. But I also have seen firsthand the consequences of trying to fight it. Some people will literally, they'll die for their culture. They will die for their culture, really, even if it opposes the deen. So be aware of that. To the gentleman watching, if you're going to marry a sister who comes from a culture that's very different from yours, you need to understand what you're signing yourself up for, because you're going to have some clashes if you're not ready for it.
And let me go back into this clashes and understand also, coming into this point, is very understand the effect it has on her also. After I did this, eventually the family figured out, because she was still staying with her family. She wasn't staying with me in my place. But after the first night, we were basically like, oh, okay, we ain't stopping this now. So eventually her family found out. One way or another, they found out. Female observation, mother. I get a phone call. I'm driving like home from work. I get a phone call, and it's her uncle's like, Abdurrahman. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, come now, quickly. Come now. This is serious. I was like, okay. I pull up to the house. I'm still in my work clothes, everything. I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, here. And he came out with all her stuff in like bags and garbage bags and everything. He was like, take the girl. I was like, what happened? And she was all like, they found out. I'm like, you ain't supposed to snitch. But they found out. They just threw her out. They didn't want, they was just like, look, get out. We don't even care if there's a walima now. They just was like, get out. And I was never invited to the house again. I never saw the family again. I only saw my wife. There was a lot of animosity and no love between me and the family after that. I only got along with her brother after that. There was not a single person in her family who wanted to deal with me, and only certain people in her family would deal with her. Second time it happened to me was in Lebanon. I married a Lebanese girl, and it was actually in Jordan. I married her in Lebanon, but we lived in Jordan. It was the same thing. We got the legal marriage done, and so her whole family was there and everything. We got the legal marriage done. We got our nikah and everything, and strangely, her father, let us stay in the same hotel room together, and we were, but the next day, like in the morning, I guess he dozed off or something, and he was like trying to bang on the door. He was like trying to open the door. Everybody's got to get like proper and whatever else, it was it just turned real awkward. It soured the marriage also.
So I have a question then, AbuAmerican, because you've seen what happens when you try and fight this culture. I have experienced it firsthand in my family when two different cultures come together and nothing to do with the deen, but there's a massive clash. And like I said before, people will die for their culture, right? So what advice would you give a brother who is either considering to marry a sister or has just married a sister, and he wants to do what the Sharia permits him to do, which is to, for have intimacy with his wife, but her family are saying, don't you dare touch her. If you touch her before the walima, I'll off you, just like I witnessed firsthand. What advice would you give to that brother? Should he continue, or should he refrain?
Same night. I got married to an Arab girl in London, and we did everything on the same night. The walima and the marriage was done on the same night. I wasn't talking to the people otherwise. I was like, look, man, we got to do this on the same night. Either you got to give me that girl the moment we do the nikah, or we're going to do everything on one night. But I'm not hearing anything else. And so I set my standards. Like, if we're not doing this on the same day, we're not talking. We did it on the same day.
Okay, so what you're saying is you put a stipulation, unless we're able to go through the moment that everything becomes halal in the sight of Allah, then I ain't going through with it, period. Is that what you're saying?
My girl.
I got you.
Well, Mahdi, it is very useful to ask, like, okay, what you want married from like this culture or this people. Ask her brother. Ask, like, okay, let me know how you do this. Where is the procedure, like the regular procedure? And okay, we will do this and that and that and that, this step and then this step and this step, this step. Okay, until you can suggest that, for example, khutuba is 6 months, for example, in Jordan. Okay, that does not suit me. We will do it in 1 week because I have to fly, for example. And then they will accept it, say yes or no, or like, just don't do this without thinking or without asking, to not like clash these people. Let them know what you want to do and let them tell you what they want to do.
Barakallah.
You got me? Yeah.
Excellent. Jazakallah khair.
Guys, I got to skedaddle.
Yes,
it has been very good having you on, Coach Kareem.
Pleasure. Coach Kareem, been a pleasure, Akhi. I learned a lot from you today. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you very much. Very glad to be here, guys.
Yeah, I actually kind of sprung this on Mahdi. I told him at the last minute. I don't even know if I told you.
Yeah,
you just kind of sprung it on him.
RP guy, I was like, okay, great.
He's just like, hey, wow. Yeah. So, Barakallah Feek for coming on. Barakallah Feek for showing up, like always, guys. Anything else before we go? I mean, products, anything, something you're doing, something come up in the future, please. Our guest first, please. You got anything?
No, actually, like if you get in my channel, which is Red Pill Arabic, but the whole content is in Arabic language, guys. So if there's Arabic people like watching, living in another part of the world, looking for Arabic content, I have weekly. It's every Friday. Weekly program. It's called Habbat Wa'i, which is in English awareness pill. Awareness pill. I did 11 episode, I believe, until now. So you will find the playlist on my channel. I'm announcing my website. It will be in Arabic also, like within 1 to 2 weeks maximum. So you're most welcome.
And do you do coaching in English? Do you take on clients who speak English for coaching?
Oh yeah, can do that.
Excellent. Nice. Myself, guys, you can find me the Red. It's there in the name there. The Red Mahdi on Instagram. I do look. I've said this before. I get so many questions every day on Instagram that if I tried to answer them all in my inbox, it would be a job in and of itself. With that being said, I do try to give you guys quick responses. The moment you start asking me for explanation and details, book a session, because it's disrespectful of my time. I understand my following is not even that big, couple of thousand. I'm getting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 messages a day. It's a job to respond to them all. And I still try to give you quick yes or no answers. If you want details, book a session, theredmahdi@gmail.com, because I find it a disrespect of my time when you try to ask me for long old explanations about, but what about this, but what about that, and the third. Understand, you and 20 others have done the same thing to me every single day. So I'm happy to give you yes, no questions. If that's what you want, microwave answer, no problem. The moment you ask for explanations, book a session. The details in my bio.
Guys, you know where to find me. I guess if you're here, you know who I am, what I'm all about. Just launched my latest book, The book is actually out. I just put a pre-sales date on it, but the book is finished complete. It's up on Gumroad. How to deal with internet trolls. I don't know if you're interested in that type of stuff, but I've had to deal with trolls, and I actually collated everything that I learned in the same way that I learned about women and whatever else. Observation of human behavior. You can find that book there, $9.99. I'll probably offer it in the near future. Me and Mahdi are talking about putting something together for you guys. So I'll probably offer it there for early subscribers. We shall see. Yes. If you need books done, websites done, no, not websites, but if you need your graphics done, headers, thumbnails, whatever else you need, anything along graphics designs, hit me up. I have a full-time employee who handles that. YouTube channel manager, Supreme. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Barakallahu feek. We will see you on the next live show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.